Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're doing another Mountain Blade Bannerlord guide. This one is going to be skills. So we're going to be going into the skills. This is going to be kind of a light guide. I won't dig into them too deep. If you want that, definitely request it and I can dig into individual skills and go through, you know, what's going to be the best choices as you level up. I can do all that. But for today we're going to do a high level look at it. And we're just going to go through it, and this is going to be building on my series of starting guides. So I already did one that kind of lays out all the factions, high overview of their strengths, weaknesses, some troop stuff, starting advantages, all the cultural stuff, talking about their buffs and what's going to be your best for each playstyle. And then I went through the family options, so going through those initial family choices that you do, kind of to break down what's going to be your best bet for what style of playthrough you want. So I definitely recommend checking those out, but now let's get into a skills guide. So let's dive on in. So as an important rule of thumb, before you actually do your character building and choose your faction and all your backstory stuff, it's a good idea to understand how the various skills in Mountain Blade Bannerlord work. You know, obviously you can't choose these beforehand, but it's good to have an idea of them so you can really think about what's going to be the best option for choices that you're going to pick and what buffs are going to be more useful when and where. So I'm going to use this video. It's going to be a guide that I'm going to use so we can take a look at various skills and skill trees in Mountain Blade Bannerlord so you can understand how they actually all work and which ones are going to be more important before you even get started with the game. So we can start by talking about attribute points. So you only get one attribute point for every 3 levels that you level up. So you want to think about where you're going to put these points to make them the most use, because as you level up it's going to get longer and longer between leveling up, so you're going to not have as many attribute points as you're probably going to want. Each attribute has skills attached to it, and each skill has its own skill tree. The main attributes in the game are Vigor, Control, Endurance, Cunning, Social, Intelligence. So let's start off talking about Vigor a little bit. Vigor is how quickly you move with weapons, which is important if you plan to do a lot of melee combat. The skills for Vigor are one-handed, two-handed, and polar. Having a higher Vigor skill makes it easier to improve melee combat. Having high Vigor will help you excel in the arena tournaments as well. And of course this is going to be very important in the game because combat in this game is, you know, clearly a huge part of it. And these skills are going to make your weapons have higher damage, while they're going to make you do more damage with the weapons. They're going to make you move faster, swing your weapon faster, be more effective at you know, counterattacking, blocking, all that sort of stuff. So Vigor is definitely one of those ones that for almost all playstyles is going to be a very important one to focus on. The next one we should talk about is Control. Control helps when using ranged weapons and throwing weapons, and all of the skills associated with the Control attribute are bow, crossbow, and throwing. Having high Control helps you learn bows, crossbows, and throwing quicker, and increasing the learning limit. If you plan to play as a ranged playstyle, this one is going to help because it's going to make you a lot more accurate. So this one, obviously, as you level up bow, crossbow, or throwing, you're going to be able to use better weapons. There's a lot of options for bows in the game, and the starter off ones aren't great, but the higher level ones are pretty deadly. So as you level up, you'll be able to use better and better bows. Same goes for crossbows. It will increase your accuracy. Basically, this just shrinks your hitbox reticle, so that's definitely a help. It can also reduce draw time for your bows. So you'll be able to fire shots faster. There are perks that'll give you extra arrows going into your quiver, or alternatively you'd be able to choose extra throwing weapons, so that's definitely a perk going into battles. There's a perk that'll allow you to use any type of bow on horseback, so early in the game you can only use short bows and recurve bows on horseback, but if you get that skill you'd be able to use anything up to long bows on horseback. Definitely a useful skill to keep in mind if you're going to go for any sort of ranged or even a ranged melee hybrid like most people. Next up we have Endurance, and Endurance deals with stamina, or doing physical activities like riding, smithing, and combat. The skills bound to Endurance are riding, athletics, and smithing. Having high endurance is important for riding as well as maintaining your health and stamina during combat. So this one's going to come down to a lot of things. This is going to affect your hit points. Your hit points are going to be affected by not only these levels going up, but also there are various skills that you can choose in here that'll give you extra hit points. This one's going to affect your stamina for how long you can run, how long you can go doing stuff. This one definitely also increases the speed at which you can move. So when you first start off the game, there's a bandit camp you'll attack, and your levy troops are going to move faster than you. The ones you just recruited, they're going to be able to get to everyone before you. As you level up your athletics, you'll be able to run around, you'll get places faster, it won't take as long to climb ladders when you're doing sieges, all of that stuff. And then lastly, of course, smithing is a huge, very important skill in the game. This is how you make weapons, or you can smelt weapons. This is a great way to make money if you do it wisely, or also, you know, more importantly, it's a great way to build better weapons. Because even though there are good weapons in the base game, you're going to start crafting weapons that are better than anything you can find in the game. So smithing is definitely a very important skill to focus on, and, you know, that's where it comes into endurance. Next up, there's cunning, and so cunning deals with anticipating what other people will do, and the skills associated with it are scouting, tactics, and roguery. Scouting deals with seeing what's going on around you on the map, so leveling that one up is going to give you bigger vision. You're going to be able to see armies moving further away, spot different things. There's skills that'll give you, like, it'll pop up a little icon by a city that shows that it's under siege. There's stuff like that that's going to come up. Tactics help you with winning battles, so this is going to give you an automatic edge, primarily in what they call simulation battles, which is when you send troops to do something. The higher your tactics skill is and the more perks you have in there that help with that, the more likely you are to win those battles, and especially with lower casualties. So definitely an important one there for certain playstyles. Roguery deals with raiding towns and cities, and so this one's kind of more of a bad guy skill, but not entirely. It's good to level it up for certain things. Speech checks, often there are, depending on the personalities of people you're talking with, roguery can be one that is very important to have higher level. So if you're dealing with anyone who's maybe more of a black sheep, sort of a devious person, roguery is usually one of the skill speech checks that's going to work with them more often. So the higher level that is, the more likely you are to pass those speech checks. So that's the cunning section. Next up we have social. So social skills affect the ability to interact with other people. The social skills in Bannerlord are charm, leadership, and trade. Trade, of course, has to do with making money and trading with other people, so points into social will help with this. Now, trade is probably the most important out of these three, even though these three are all very important. There's a certain skill in trade where you level it up. I think it's at 250, 249 levels, so it's actually pretty high. But if you're being a trader and you're using it to make money anyway, you'll level it up relatively fast. But anyway, once you unlock that skill, you're able to start negotiating with people to straight up just buy towns and castles from them, which is probably the most useful skill in the game, if I'm being honest. Because you can, basically buy the entire map as long as you have enough money and you have your skills high enough. Definitely useful. Other than that, inside trade, it's a great way to make money. It's going to boost your caravans earning or shops in towns, either way. Also ways to boost, like selling merchandise or items like swords and stuff, or there's a wholesale one for selling raw materials. So definitely important there. Leadership gives bonuses to your troops and helps you lead them more efficiently by providing different bonuses. So this one you'll get boosts to how many people you can command, different like wage benefits for troops, XP boosts, all that sort of stuff. Charm skills help you primarily influence different lords to do different things. Again, this one's going to come into effect with speech checks a lot, but this one also helps you boost your renown. So different things you do, the higher level your charm is, you can get more renown for them, and the more renown you have, the easier it is to do a lot of stuff in the game. So that's the social clump, kind of in a nutshell. Lastly, we have intelligence. And intelligence deals with learning other skills, and skills associated with this attribute are steward, medicine, and engineering. Steward has to do with town management and looking after the people in your town, so this one's going to come into a lot of your maintenance costs, building speed, food consumption, all sorts of stuff like that. It's going to be important stuff for towns and castles that you own. Medicine helps your troops gain health and also adds hit points and can speed up healing time, and there's certain perks, like there's one perk option where you can either boost your healing speed when you're moving across the map or sitting still, and then there's ones for in town, so definitely important there, especially if you're going to be in combat a lot. Engineering helps you create walls and other town improvements faster, as well as build siege weapons and make them better and more accurate and more powerful, all that sort of stuff. So engineering is going to be another one of those ones that if you're planning on doing a lot of conquesting and taking places and owning castles and stuff, engineering is a super important one to focus on. So I feel like that's a pretty good high-level overview of each attribute. So we can go into leveling skills now. So you level up your skills in Mountain Blade by using them, which makes sense. Applying focus points will speed up the leveling process, and you can put 5 of those in each skill. And every time you level up, you gain a focus point. So you get an attribute point every 3 levels. You get a focus point every time you level up. Applying focus points to combat and riding skills will help immensely, as you will be doing a lot of fighting and horse riding. So leveling up these skills eventually unlocks perks, and each perk gives you a special buff. So that's those things I was talking about, the buffs those are all the things that you'll be able to choose between. Some of them don't have choices, it's just one upgrade along the whole way, and the rest have 2 choices that are going to, you know, depend on your playstyle for which one's best. So again, this guide wasn't intended to break down like what's going to be the best skills for you to go through in each one, or what's going to be the best perks to go through as you're leveling up. If you want that, I can always do that. I do have opinions about most of the options in this game. This is just supposed to be a high-level overview of really what each section does, what's the point, how fast are you going to get these points, all that sort of stuff. So I hope it was useful, and I hope you enjoyed it, but in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.